Hello everyone, welcome back to Great People Only. Thank you very much for bearing with us during our brief hiatus. We're very looking forward to bringing you a whole host of new guests. And today's episode, we are starting with Matt Willoughby. He's a street photographer based in Sheffield who's built a serious following through his project, Faces of Sheffield. If you're on Instagram, you have probably seen it. He stops strangers, hears a story, takes the portrait, and then shares the interactions with us, resulting in a very beautiful moment captured on camera. The project started local but has travelled fast. It's picked up attention well beyond the city of Sheffield and even landed him on the radar of people like Zack Polanski and Paul Bettany, to name just a couple. He's now shooting a new series called Difference here at the James. It focuses on people living with visible differences. The intention isn't to sensationalise anything, but it's about visibility and dignity and letting people take up space, exactly as they are. In this conversation, we get into how Faces of Sheffield grew, what it's like to carry a project that represents a city, his past work in prosthetics, and where he's headed in the future. What a chat this was. Please enjoy. Matt, thank you for coming on today, mate.
No worries.
Like I said, I have been quite persistent with you,
Cool.
but I appreciate it. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
So I know that was a big part of it.
Yeah. Get my haircut done.
Yeah. So just to wear a massive hat on the top of it.
Yeah, because when I came out earlier on, the wind just
Yeah,
blew
I've
it
been
all
a
up.
nightmare with mine today.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, just hairsprayed it.
People
out.
know me wearing that as well.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
like,
Signature,
exactly.
signature
Clark
manoeuvre.
Kent thing, innit? So.
So I guess the reason I would love to talk to you today about the outreach work you've been doing in the community, because it's massive. You've had a few viral moments already.
Yeah.
Talk about your early stages of your career and all that kind of stuff, and we'll just go from there, mate.
Yeah.
So, I guess before photography, who were you? How did it all start?
So before photography, it were sort of jumping from job to job sort of thing. Worked at Screwfix, worked at Office Outlet.
I'd buy a screwdriver off you, to be fair.
Yeah,
No problem. I'd sell it. I'd be like, I've already got one, but I'll still buy one.
Yeah, it's I'm quite persuasive when it comes to impacting tools. But basically, and then sort of what it went on from there is we're always into sort of like special effects and films. I'm a big film lover, and there were a trainee position in London for a special effects makeup artist. So I thought, I'll apply. They'd probably not get back to me. They were an Oscar-winning sort of a special effects house. And then he rung me, the guy who owns it, who's a massive deal in film industry. And yeah, I left Office Outlet and got on a train and went down and lived in London.
You've lived there the entire life before all this as well. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, we're doing film work that sort of made me initially pick up a camera because I was sort of documenting my work, for portfolio reasons. And then, I just fell in love with just doing photography. So I just started taking portraits of family members and our lass. She was my guinea pig early on.
So no formal training, no education or anything like that?
No, I just picked up a little digital camera, started shooting.
Just it's mad, isn't it? No wonder everyone used to call me the Green Mickey Mouse the group. You know what I mean? You've got guys like you just picking up a camera, going viral overnight. I studied it for 20 years.
It's been a bit of graft. I mean,
absolutely.
I first started sort of like doing the Sheffield sort of street photography, just to sort of get me out of the house a bit. More of a case of, like I used to get panicky when I had to go to town, which were like, I'm getting on a bus, and which were daft. I don't know why. So I started.
I get it though. I do get it.
Yeah, it's just one of them, innit? And I went sort of like every weekend with this, because I got this old film camera, and I just started just going up to people and just asking them for a portrait.
To give people a lowdown of what it is that you started the project on there. Then.
Yeah, I started Faces of Sheffield
Rolleiflex.
on a Rolleiflex, which this one's 1969, and I mean they don't make cameras like this anymore. They just the quality that you get from them. But yeah, I thought it was quite a ballsy move, really, going to take sort of portraits of people randomly on a film camera. So all of the early sort of portraits of Sheffield people were all done on this. So
yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Like they've just never been able to, even with all the advancements in nearly 50 years of advancement, no digital camera's ever been able to. It's just an emulation of film, and they've just never been able to replicate it ever.
Oh, it's a digital. It's sort of I don't know. It's quite clinical. Whereas with this, you sort of with film, I'm not a film snob or all that. You know what I mean? I use digital when I do my street interactions now, especially in winter, because it's easier than carrying a big chunk of metal round your neck. But yeah.
So obviously you've started taking your pictures, just doing your prosthetic work and everything. So there was prosthetics that you trained in? Like, had you an education in that?
No, it were self-taught. It was just just an hobby.
So just a lad who decided to start doing prosthetics, ended up working on James Bond.
Yeah,
just
much.
Casually.
We ended up making all the stunt bodies for Fast and Furious. And,
wow.
And it were good fun. It were good fun.
So what was that like? Like, did you ever meet any of the stars and the actors and stuff?
Yeah.
What kind of world was it like?
When I worked on, I used to work at Elstree Studios, and they filmed a lot of stuff there, like The Crown and stuff. So you'd see like Olivia Colman just casually walking up and saying, "Oh, morning," which were weird, and Helena Bonham Carter and. On Artemis Fowl, which we'd see like Judi Dench walking around. Morning. It was just weird, man. It was just like
Judy.
Yeah. Jubes. How we doing? All right, love. It was just weird because it was just like when you come from like a place like Sheffield, just normal working class background, and you end up in a world where it's like people that you've seen
for years
on TV and films growing up, and then you're actually in the same room as them. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
But it's when, especially when we were saying earlier, imposter syndrome creeps in. Which I think it is good to have a certain degree of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, you never want to be too big for your britches, do you?
Exactly, because I think is when you get to the point where you say, "Yeah, I'm shit hot," you've lost.
I think sometimes, though, just devil's advocate, you are allowed that moment, especially when you're feeling like, if you've beaten yourself down with imposter syndrome, sometimes you do have to be like, no, I am shit hot, actually. Yeah. It's different from, I'm shit hot, me. I should be getting that. Do you know what I mean? Very different situations, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you mean. A lot of people go around saying that they're amazing at something, and you look at it and it's like,
I think sometimes
because you stop learning when you think you're the best.
Yeah, if you think you're best, you stop learning and think. It's easy for people to go around thinking they're God's gift for whatever.
Exactly.
In, photography or
doesn't matter what it is, mate. Like I've had a lot of niche hobbies over my life, so like I played Warhammer since I was like a kid, and even in those circles, you've got people who are like, well, actually, they're not the rules, and this and that.
You find it in everything, niche,
every niche, mate, every niche, and so is that one of the reasons why you walked away from it, or what was behind the departure?
The main thing in film industry, it probably COVID didn't help.
That's understatement of the century.
Didn't help at all. It basically, I mean, we saw it coming. Like, I'd work in London, Monday to Friday, and then I'd come home Friday night back to Sheffield, see our lass for weekend and that, and family. And And I remember sort of when we were in workshops and that, we'd sort of hear on news that there's summit coming, and it were like...
I remember that. It was yesterday, mate. Sat in the Lad Bible office and going, oh, COVID, like there's a thing called COVID.
Yeah.
And I was like, it'll never go over.
And I'm a bit of a germaphobe. Like, when I don't really shake hands.
Yeah,
I'll do a fist bump or something. And
Fair.
So I've always been a bit of a germaphobe. But when that came, it was sort of like I started seeing people in train stations in St Pancras wearing masks. And I was like, it's getting a bit real. And then they announced it on news when we all saw that on news saying, we're shutting. So I said to my boss at the time, I said, listen, I'm going to go back to Sheffield because I'm not going to get stuck in London by myself. No way. And I never went back.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're off work within 3 years.
Yeah.
We were like,
furlough was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah, not too bad. But it were bizarre time, and I think it was then that was sort of like the sort of the change in
your direction,
in my direction, because it was like I had a direction in mind, and then when COVID hit and we were all, isolated for God knows how long, it were after then I was like, I didn't have it in me to go back down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was just sort of like
well, I found this now. This is really fulfilling.
Yeah,
you don't have to.
Yeah, so that was when I probably started taking photography more seriously instead of just doing, portfolio work and stuff. And
what does this give you that working on the prosthetic side of it that didn't give you?
I don't know. I'd sort of say photography for me. So it's just a bit of a release that I didn't really get doing a job in films. I mean, I was very, very blessed to be where I were in film, but it were the industry sort of... I don't know, the film industry, it's a weird one. It was sort of... almost felt like being back at school. Like
regimented.
There were cliques of people.
Yeah.
And I don't work in cliques.
No.
I'm not one of them that likes to just join a group and stay with them. And it was very, very cliquey. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of people that I still call, close friends that I worked with down there, which I'll be friends with for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's nice because obviously the same racket at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it was just it's an odd industry. It's very sort of on the go all the time, and especially when you're freelance and self-employed, you sort of dotted around in different studios and different jobs.
Here, there, everywhere.
Just living out of your suitcase in a spare room. So it was good, but nah, it stayed here now.
So it's funny that you say that the photography was like a release, because I know you started the Faces of Sheffield as a way to kind of deal with your own social anxiety.
Yeah.
And like, so how did that come about, and why did you want to make it like an actual project as opposed to just like, why did you want to share it with people and stuff?
Well, at first, like before I started sort of filming my interactions, it was strictly just photographs of people, and it were mainly to be just sort of to push myself socially. So I just challenged myself. Oh, he's a cool person.
Some level of self-awareness, that, mate. It's amazing.
Yeah,
like,
it's. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I just thought, I need to get out more, be a bit more social with people, because I'm quite a solitary person. I can be happy just sort of being in a room by myself.
I love YouTube, man. I'll just sit
YouTube.
there like that, I'll horizontal for 12 hours watching
Sick.
YouTube.
Love it. But it's like, I should go and get some sun. Yeah, just sort of, it was just a personal challenge, really, just to, because I'm a sort of a people watcher.
Oh, what a hobby.
Yeah.
What a hobby.
I love people watching, the sort of, in my head sort of thinking, I wonder what they do. And
making up stories for them.
Yeah, but then it got to the point where I was like, no, I need to know.
What? Yeah, okay.
So, and this sort of, I don't know. It's just this is like a passport. I say it's
Into
like
people's minds.
It's a passport into people because
That's so good.
Because when you
What a soundbite.
yeah, it is. It's a passport to people because when you approach someone with a normal camera, that you put to your eye, people get a bit. This is a bit odd, But with this, it's more.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, and it's a novelty, and people want to be photographed by it, and that gives me permission to enter someone's life for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's
you got loads of mates.
yeah. That's what I say. I see everyone that I've photographed as like a friend.
Yeah.
It's weird, even if I never see him again. But it's sort of, I don't know. I view it as like almost like time travel. You can take someone's picture, and you might never see him again, but you've got that
moment,
that little moment with him that's captured forever, and that's why I like it really, because you just sort of
that's ace.
Man, you just get to know people,
innit? And there's not enough of that. You know what I mean? Especially down south.
yeah, down south. Christ, imagine me down south.
All right, no fuck off.
Morning, duck. You all right?
Police.
Yeah, everyone thought I were homeless in London because I'm not being trimmed.
Yeah, you are a hairy man, aren't you?
I'm very hairy.
95%
air, 5% water.
Yeah, you look like Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Not half, literally. No, Beorn. Is it Beorn in Lord of the Rings? That big bear, and it goes all down his back, and he's got an axe. Yeah, I'm just like that with an axe.
Amazing, great genetics, mate. This,
powerful.
It's just people walk past you and they turn around, they've got a moustache.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, whoa,
yeah, like a shade.
And do you remember the first person that you approached? Do you remember that first interaction?
It were a bit intimidating, but I sort of. He was also stood outside the Winter Gardens with a camera.
Oh, okay.
Similar to this.
Nice.
So I thought, it's a bit easier.
Yeah,
because he'll know.
That's sneaky.
It's sneaky, a bit sneaky. And I approached him, and it was just sort of like, hey. You got a camera. And he was like, hey. Fedor, he's called, a Russian chap that's very, very educated.
In photography? Or in general?
In general.
Oh,
like
okay.
He's like PhD in fucking rocket science or something like that. I was like, cool.
Okay, sound.
I'll take a picture. So I took his portrait. And the one after that were one where it was just he didn't have a camera, so he didn't give me permission to approach him. It was just a chap stood outside his. I think he must have been, I don't know, a businessman or something. But he were in a wool coat and a hat similar to mine and a scarf on, and he just looked cool.
So you sort of started by picking people that had like reflections of yourself and comfortability.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
It's interesting you say that, actually. Thinking about it, I think when it comes to photographing strangers, it's sort of sometimes I can walk around and I can see loads of people, but there's not someone that makes me go, I'm going to photograph them. So if I don't get that feeling, I don't do it. And I think there must be something, subconsciously that's sort of like something that I see in someone that reflects with me.
Yeah.
So it's almost like photographing yourself.
Yeah, so there's a bit of comfortability like that. Yeah. So it's fun. I can really can relate to that because, like I said, I used to do a bit of presenting, and when I worked for Joe.co.uk, I used to do their street interviews, like the Joe Politics stuff and Joe Mate, all and everything like that. And when I used to do it, we used to call it voxing, vox populi, vocal populi, whatever. And I'd be like, out. And, street interviews, they do get a bad rep because some of them are little shit, some of the stuff. What's your body count and all that? It's like, really, obviously. And so I'd wait for people and I'd be like, yeah, they look cool. they look like, I'd have a pint with them.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's-
And then sometimes you just ask someone and they just say the most out-of-pocket shit they've ever said in their entire life.
Yeah.
But you have to have that, because it's a big, like, it's scary, man.
It is, yeah.
Don't care what anyone says. It is a
Yeah.
thing. It's hard to get over.
Yeah, it can be, yeah, because it's not a natural thing to approach a stranger in the street.
No, we get told from birth.
Yeah.
Don't
Stranger
speak
danger.
to. Yeah, exactly.
Well, especially when someone like me comes up and take your picture. Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good sound bite. Take your picture. I snorted then, did you hear it? Fucking hell.
And when did you realise that it wasn't just a confidence builder for you anymore, and it was like a project?
I'd say when I photographed a chap called Philip, and he, I don't know, they were just, I'd sort of, in photography, before I photographed Philip, it was sort of safe people, where it were like, just your average, normal, everyday person.
Yeah.
But then when I saw Philip, he's a chap that walks around streets of Sheffield. I think he suffers with some form of mental illness. He don't really speak much. But I just saw him and I thought, he's got a look to him. He were wearing shorts with a tweed sort of blazer.
What a guy.
A hat with flaps on, and he had suit trousers underneath his shorts.
Gangster.
A gangster, yeah. and he had like a mutton chops and I'd heard about him before. I'd seen him about before, and I just thought I'm just going to go and ask.
Yeah.
And for then that one were a bit not scary, but it was sort of like
Unknown.
I don't know how he's going to react to
Yeah.
this. But he sort of looked up and I says, I'm Matt, am I alright to take your portrait? And he went, yeah. I said, what's your name? He said, Philip. And then I had this round my neck and he just sort of went, I took it and that were it. I thought, let's see how it turns out. And when I looked at it, it's one of my favourite photographs because he's just so intense. Like his eyes were just sort of like, and from then I was like,
I think I know which one that is, actually.
yeah, it's a bit further back on my page, but he just had such intensity to him. He was sort of like hunched over, and he just sort of looked directly in lens. And with these, they've got two lenses.
Yeah.
And he knew which one to look in. And when I saw that, when I first developed it, and I looked at it, I was like, wow.
I'm onto something here.
Yeah. I was just
yeah.
like, for me, it's a good picture. And you could just, I don't know, I mean, when I look at it, I can see a story to him. And then I was like, oh, well, I could do a collection of images of people.
There he is with the keys round, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends Forever, it says on his keys.
Yeah. Wow.
Which I think that's what I titled it, a portrait of Philip, Friends Forever. I think that's what I might have just had it in my head, I'm not sure. But yeah, since that one, I was just sort of like, yeah, I want to get a body of work where you can just look at a person that usually a lot of people don't interact with. Because you'll see someone that's a bit different or not normal in society. The sort of the outcasts of society, the people that don't have a voice really. And then that's where I started, photographing a lot of people in Sheffield that are homeless.
People that aren't seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just nice people.
Yeah.
And I've made some really good friends with them. And they're just nice people. But with then where I would sort of like, tell a story from someone through a picture. And I think with Philip, that's where it sort of turned a bit.
Yeah, of course. It's very like, Martin Parr, Len Grant-esque, the work that you do. I really, really do think so. But we've obviously not. It just reminds me of that kind of rawness, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I tell you, took that as a massive compliment. Your eyes lit up there, didn't they? But
Martin Parr, bless him.
He
was sick, Martin Parr.
Yeah, unreal, mate, unreal. That one of the guy throwing the cat across the room. What a picture that was, man.
It was just, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, unreal. And it's just got that, like that rawness to it, and you very, very much sit in that category of. It's not try hard. You've picked the subjects that do the heavy lifting. Yeah, but in such a good way. It's like it's beautiful. Like, and these guys and girls and everyone in between that you photograph. Yeah, they're just not even trying, are they? But they're brilliant. Like,
it's just people that are different. Yeah, I like photographing different people because it's. I don't know. Everyone now. I mean, when you see photographs of street photographers from 60s, 70s, and even 80s, everyone had their own sort of look to them. They had sort of like, there were tribes of people, subcultures and stuff. Whereas now, it's gone, and you're lucky to find someone in the street that has, individualities to them where it turns your head.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting. I never even considered that, because obviously I was a skateboarder for years, and we used to hang around in Manchester, and we get called moshers and this and that, and you just don't really see it now.
No, I think that were the last of the sort of two tribes of subcultures in
skaters and the moshers.
Yeah, or moshers and chavs.
Moshers and chavs.
You know what I mean? I remember where chavs used to come up when I were at school, and there'd be like fights on field. And
just because we were moshers.
Between moshers and chavs, and it was like, even that's gone now.
Yeah, no, innit? Yeah, boring.
But I'd say a lot of support that I've had from photographing people is from, LGBTQ community, and trans community, people like that. Because what I've found is a lot of people that dress cool and in a quirky way now are from them communities.
Because like people from them communities just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I want to look how I want to look. I'm out there and I'm proud. Yeah, and I'm not going to have anyone tell me otherwise.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's why I love it. So it's they've given me a lot of support.
And so I take it you took Sheffield as your subject because it's like your hometown.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered, or have you ever done this in other cities?
No. I do plan to go to like Manchester. There's some mad people there.
Mad.
There's some
Piccadilly rats, mate.
Yeah. There's some cool people in Manchester. I went last not so long back, and I was just like, I wish I got my camera on me. It was just so
I can imagine that.
Saw,
that's exciting that you're thinking like that. I wish I had that with me.
Yeah, I'd like to just sort of branch out a bit, but Sheffield and Sheffield people, that's my love, really.
Yeah, it's your niche, isn't it? Like, it's where you are, and it's that's what you're known for, and like, you're doing it justice. Like, but so I know you kind of walk here, there, everywhere, but like, I think it's a lot of these pictures that you do, like, around, like, because the more is two sides of it's a game of two halves, isn't it? The more, one side. So what draws you to like there? Is it because you get a lot of interesting people going on that way?
Yeah, you can get just sort of like, I don't know, like on a good day you can just get like just some mad people. It's like the further down the more you go, the quirkier people
get. Slippery slope.
I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
Sometimes I don't even photograph. I'll just sit there
and just watch
and just absorb people. But yeah, it's sort of like further uptown you go, the more younger crowd.
Yeah.
So I'll sort of go like, all right, today I want to photograph, some younger, cooler, younger, hip people.
Yeah, so you go just past Popeyes.
Yeah, so I'll go past Popeyes. That's where I am. It's like Watford Gap. And you go further down, more, your quirky people, and so that's how I see sort of Sheffield. So bottom up more and sort of work my way up. But it's like you say, it's a mixture of worlds.
Yeah, it's class.
There's some characters.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And through your portraits, do you think, like, what do you think it kind of reveals about the city? So is it like, does this show that Sheffield is quite culturally rich? You know what I mean?
I'd say so, yeah. It's culturally rich when it comes to, fashion and people like that. There is a lot of very fashionable people here. But there's also the other side of the coin is the more gritty sort of underbelly of the city, which is, and yeah, it's sort of, I don't know, it can make your head spin sometimes, because you within the space of 5 minutes you can go from a very positive interaction that makes you see Sheffield in an amazing light.
You walk away with warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, and then you can bump into someone, get chatting with them, and take the portrait, and you could just cry.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because of the story, and now they're not getting any help. So sometimes it can be a bit of I'd say quite a big responsibility, really, on me, on myself, because it's sometimes it's a lot to sort of process in your head, because you've got two views at the same time of the same place, and sometimes it can be quite hard to sort of separate them both. But sometimes I think it's best not to separate them and just see them at the same time. So I saw a chap sitting outside St Mary's Cathedral, just near Lyceum, and he was just sat there, and he was sort of, he was begging, and I just sort of went up to him and just sort of said, is that what I can get for you? He said, a sandwich, if that's all right. So I went and got him a sandwich, and I had this again round my neck, and he said, "How old's that?" And I'm like, "Made in 1969." And you're like, "Fucking hell, does it still work?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Do you want to send me a picture?" I said, "Yeah, go on then." Robert, he's called, and he had tip of his nose were gone, and it were gone. And he had a massive scar, it's a wound on his neck. And after I took his portrait, I said to him, what happened to you? Like, and he said, overnight, someone tried to murder me. I was like, what? He says, I were asleep in the doorway, and this guy just came up to me with a knife, just was stabbing me in the head. And he said, it took my nose off. And I was like, this is in Sheffield, where
of course
someone went around and tried to kill an homeless person. But you don't see that on
the guy with like the bubble jacket on?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert, and the tip of it. Yeah.
And he's a lovely guy, and it's like, but before then I had a very positive interaction with someone that took the portrait, and it were all, nice to meet you, and then sometimes it's just like whiplash.
Yeah,
because it's like,
whoa, what?
Like
two very different experiences.
You go from two, one extreme to other, and it's like, fucking hell, this guy was nearly murdered, and he couldn't shake my hand because he broke his hand trying to defend himself, and it's just sort of like, these sort of people don't get any representation, or, I mean, you don't hear about that on news, or Sheffield Online or out like that. Yeah. And it's because people have these, they just walk past him, and I sat with him for about a good half an hour, and the churchgoers started going out, and I was sat with him, and he was saying, God bless, and he was, he's a religious man, and he was saying, God bless the people, and if they could spare any change, and not one of them looked at him, didn't even fucking acknowledge him, and that were like, fucking hell, I mean, I could have cried. It was just so like,
Heartbreaking.
this is this guy's existence. But anyway, after that, we sort of sat and just sort of said how, hypocritical it is to be sitting outside of a church, goodwill to all men, but not even get a look.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, but we're at the time when snooker were on. So I said bye to Robert, I gave him a cuddle and I went on my way. And I walked down and I saw a famous snooker player. I'll not mention who because, I could. But, and I went up to him and I just thought,
shoot your shot.
I've got my camera on.
Yeah.
Oh, why not? I said, oh, excuse me, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan here, and I'm Matt. Can I take your portrait? And he looked me up and down, and went back to his phone. And I said, who the fuck do you think you are?
So you actually, wow, yeah.
And he went, what? But it sort of annoyed me because it were like
he's got it's got everything going.
5 minutes prior, I was sat with a guy that had nothing.
Yeah,
but gave me everything.
Yeah,
gave me respect. He let me take his picture.
Yep.
He shared his story with me. But then someone who's let's be honest is a snooker player.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
wouldn't even give me a hello or even the respect
just
to say.
tutted at you.
Yeah, just look me up and down. Like I were, and it was then where I was just sort of like, I'm not even going to try and attempt anymore to photograph people like that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
There's a lot more interesting, nice people that give you respect. And,
yeah, exactly. And you don't, that's actually crazy, isn't it? That like couldn't give you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And
so that's what I see about sort of like there's a double side to reality at the same time. It's sort of like you can experience.
How people get everything is by giving nothing.
Exactly, yeah.
So you got now, it's because you've given it all, give it all away.
Yeah.
Like to people, you know what I mean? And that's that's mad. Like,
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's real. It is strange. Yeah, you'd think like you go up. I'm a fan of your. Like, can I take your picture? I'd be buzzing.
Yeah,
I'd be buzzing, mate. I'd be like, absolutely, of course you can. You know what I mean? All that.
Probably the only two people that I've met that are photographed that are snooker players is Davis and Endre. Proper sound.
Oh, mate, men of the people.
They were just they were in Winter Gardens doing where they play a game.
Yeah.
And I had my camera with me again, and I just sort of snuck me out barrier a little bit just to get some pictures. Then after they'd finished filming and stuff, I said to Endre, I says, "Am I right to take yours and Steve's portrait?" Oh yeah, Steve. And they both came over and all like, I'm a big snooker fan.
Yeah, man.
And all like,
what a sport.
Like, shit. These are like two legends of snooker. Yeah, I got their portrait together, which we're all like buzzing for because it were. But yeah.
And this is what I mean, man. Like you can't predict people.
No, yeah.
And that's why what you do is so interesting, because there's always that element of, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to say no. So, other than the snooker incident, like, have you? Do you? I mean, I was kind of gonna go into that a little bit later on, actually. But like, I just need to format this now. 1 second. Talk about the snooker. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you've been taking people's photograph, and you've been approaching people and doing pretty good work with people and giving people time of day and probably making them feel like humans. So when did you realise the project was gaining traction online? Like,
I think it were
because I've been following you since 8,000, and you've gained 4,000 followers in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's daft, isn't it? When you think about it, social media. It's like it's a bit crazy.
Yeah,
I'd say when I photographed this couple.
Oh, the one that's my favourite street interaction. Is that the one you mean, where they sat over by Taco Bell?
No, before then.
Before then.
When that's one of my favourite pictures of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple, because they just look so cool.
Yeah.
There's this sort of James and Ava, they're called. They just look cool as out, It almost looks like a picture taken in the 70s, which is why I like it. But before then, with this couple that are just sort of randomly photographed. And one of the first sort of street interactions I did that I filmed, which we're nervous about.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking anyway, going up to
Yeah.
someone asking for the picture. But when you've got a camera on you as well, it's even more so.
Yeah.
And she had like pink and blue hair, and he had long hair, and they just looked like a cool couple. And I took the picture, but I only had black and white film in this at the time, which annoyed a lot of people because that video kind of went semi-viral. I think it got like 300 and some thousand views or something like that. But it was then when I were like, oh wow, people are actually watching this.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff.
219,000.
Yeah,
views.
200. You're on
Yeah.
TikTok. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on
They've got
Tik- yeah.
about 300,000.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
daft like that. But with them, where I was like, oh, DL, never had this sort of many people looking at my stuff. But a lot of comments were like, people. There was someone that was like genuinely angry that I didn't photograph them in colour. They were like, "You've robbed their soul." And I was like, "You all right?
You all right, pet?
You all right? You need to go and have a cup of tea, love, because it's a camera.
What do you think of that brew? It's all right.
Innit? Oh, it's nice. It's gone.
Yeah.
Drunk
I
it.
can make a decent brew, me.
Good
Yeah,
brew.
Go on.
Yes, and people are like, I can't believe you did it in black and white.
Yeah.
But I don't think people, quite got that it's film.
Yeah. Like you've just done a filter on it or whatever.
They were like, I didn't have any choice.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was out of my hands.
Yeah, it was just, it's because colour film's expensive.
All right, tell me
So
about
black
it,
and
mate.
white, it's a lot cheaper, and but I can't help who bump into.
It's gorgeous, people. I'm sorry, like it is gorgeous. Black and white film photography it's superior in every way. I'm sorry.
I do like it.
It just is.
It's nice.
Yeah, like
it's good to know when to use it and when not to use it.
of course, yeah.
When I'd shooting black and white,
For everything, if you could. Yeah.
but sometimes you just got to do colour as well.
Yeah.
But black and white, just love it. It's
Well, colour can tell a story on its own sometimes. Like I'm just looking at this geezer with a green afro, like.
Which one's that?
He's pushing around his trolley in Sheffield. And,
Oh, John.
Like, yeah. Like in black and white, it's lost to something, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
He's not got his green afro.
But everyone knows John.
Of course, yeah. But for that, for these stranger looking in, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
There. Like colour would have been great there. Wouldn't it? Yeah.
But it's just what I had at the time.
Yeah. Of course.
But I photographed him recently, actually, again, and got it in colour this time. Filmed the interaction in that, and he's just a remarkable man.
Oh, mate.
He's unbelievable. He's for
We do a full episode just talking about your subjects, couldn't we?
Yeah,
literally.
literally,
They've all
yeah.
got their own story.
yeah,
And I think that's amazing.
yeah. It's why I do it, because
You remember all the names off the top of your head, and that's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Like
Yeah.
they've all left a really profound impact on you, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is your project's worked
yeah
for yourself. You
It's
set out
for
to
myself.
do that.
Yeah, I sort of did it for myself, really.
Yeah. And other
But-
people have, because it's real. I think people are like, yeah, I can get behind this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The message and this
people
and
have
that.
started to sort of like it. It's become a bit of a thing.
Did the attention change how you work though, or have you just kept it? Is it as in like, do you feel the pressure now? You've got the 300k, like one of them went semi-viral. You're like, oh, I'd like for that to happen again.
Yeah, I sort of have to stop myself because it's easy. It's like I was thinking in my head, I need to go out and get some videos done, which isn't the point. of, which isn't the point of of doing what I do. And I sort of found myself falling into this little trap of views and stuff like that, even though it doesn't matter. But it's an easy thing to fall into.
Of course, it's easy to chase because we're human, right, at the end of the day. And if you can make a living out of doing something that you love, then that the temptation is there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's when your passion project, it's that fine line between it becoming your passion and then like it becoming a monetary thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, social media, that's a byproduct of it.
Exactly.
You see that metric, you're like, whoa. It's designed by scientists to make you do that.
Like, and you're sort of chasing because every person that does any sort of art form, whether it be painting, drawing, photography, whatever it might be, want people to see it and
of
to
course.
acknowledge it. And but I think there's a fine balance between doing it for the right reason and not just doing it.
There's a lot of soulless stuff, like from actual technicians who are fantastic at what they do. They know a camera inside and out. They can turn a camera on. They can develop film with their eyes closed. A lot, right? But they just do it because they get dough for it.
Yeah,
and it's a shame. It's not saying it's a waste because it's not because they're earning money out of something that they're talented at. But it's like, can you imagine what they would produce if there was a passion project? Some of these people.
Yeah,
and this is what this is.
Yeah, it's you sort of got to balance it because you want to put out as it's why I do my other series that I'm doing In Your Face, which is not recorded, no recorded interaction. It's just strictly the person done in a deliberate way.
Yeah.
They're not flattering portraits.
Yeah. It's wide lens, close up.
Yeah,
like, it's
they're
great.
They're not flattering.
I love them,
but they've got a look to them.
Yeah.
And you can. Everything's over exaggerated.
Yeah, you're really stark, aren't they? Though, what you're doing, they're really, really good.
So that's why I've started doing them to sort of force myself to.
Do you have to tell people in advance, like, these aren't flattering? These you're gonna look.
Yeah.
You're gonna look like something.
Yeah. When I first started doing them, I had to sort of say, this is the crack.
Yeah, this is some.
But now people have seen them, and that project on its own sort of built a little bit of a following.
Yeah, nice.
People kind of know what it's about.
Yeah,
so they're a lot more open to it because it's very
that clown, mate. Wow.
Yeah, Stephen Carley, he's called. He's an artist, does performance art and stuff like that.
Not half.
Yeah, and I went to his studio. He kindly invited me down to, because I've seen like his characters that he does, and some of them are mad.
Yeah,
and some of the work that he does is fucking crazy. And he went down to his studio, and he was like, "Oh, do you want me to put my clown stuff on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, come on."
Obviously.
Yeah, and he's got a paintbrush out and started, and it's that one's a lot more. That series is a lot more collaborative.
He's picking your subjects. You see, and
it's sort of, it's very intentionally. The subjects have a look to them that are unique, and they know that they're unique in their own way, and they want to be photographed for it. So I've had loads of people reaching out. Nice. I do put out on Instagram like I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm going to be around them more. I've seen them.
I'm looking for interesting people, and today I'm doing In Your Face.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure for me to walk around with and video it, and because it does get a little bit like, I need to get this video done, and it's just sort of it sort of strips it back to the person.
So what part of the journey of the Matt Willoughby film project as a whole did Zack Polanski start following you?
Zack, that was. There's a photographer that I know in Cardiff, Tom Wilkins. He does. He was the one that initially pushed me to do it because I followed him on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw you post.
Yeah, and he had like.
Was he down here? recently?
No, he's coming up though.
Yeah.
He
Sorry, up here.
We've said that we're going to meet up in February.
Take each other's portraits.
Yeah,
That's cool.
We're going to go for a walk around Sheffield.
Sick.
But him, he's blown up. He's got like 30 odd K followers, or whatever it is. But everyone's looking at his work, and he said, "Oh, I'm photographing Zack Polanski for Green Party."
Salford lad, not much older than us.
Yeah, whenever he's in Cardiff, and I'm like, I messaged him not so long back to
It's for the same,
for the same reason, but I never heard out back. Then Tom said, I'll be photographing him. He messaged me back and he's followed me, and I'm like, no way, that's sick, nice one. And then literally a few hours later, he followed me and replied back to me saying, "Oh yeah, when I'm next up in Sheffield, like definitely." And I'm like, oh.
That must be quite surreal for you,
Yeah.
Especially like you're somebody that you'll vote for, and obviously back the policies and stuff. And did that being in touch with them through your work, did that kind of shift how you saw this little passion that you've got going on?
Yeah, I'd sort of say I've sort of put out feelers to people, of note, actors and stuff like that, and they've all sort of said, yeah, which I weren't expecting. Like for I messaged Hannah Walters, actress, producer, Stephen Graham's her husband, and I just sort of thought, because I've watched, seen all of her stuff and Stephen's since I was a kid, and like This Is England being filmed in Sheffield, and Hannah and Stephen were both in This Is England, and I just sort of thought of an off chance, I'll just message Hannah and ask if I could take a portrait. And I weren't expecting a reply back because, she's a very busy lady. And she messaged me back saying, yeah, that would be lovely. And I was like, but then I was like, oh shit. And
what do I do now?
Oh no. I weren't expecting a yes. So
what have I done?
What have I done? No. Yeah. And then we sort of, planned it out with a publicist and that, and we set a date and a time at Pearl at Park Hill, because the Warp offices are just around the corner from there. And I remember stood in car park at back of Park Hill Flats, shitting myself, being on phone to our lass saying like, I'm nervous. This is like the first proper, actor that I've photographed. And she pulled up in a car. And she got out, and we just started chatting like old friends. It was so surreal for me, being a fan of someone's work. We went in Pearl and I photographed her. Got some lovely portraits, and I love Hannah. She's absolutely lovely. And yeah, that was the first time where I was like, I could make a go of this, really. Photographing people that I admire. And yeah, since then I've got a few other actors of note sort of scheduled for some time in this year. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about them, but I'll be doing them. But it's exciting, and it'll be good, man.
Yeah, that's a hell of a story to start, but then you've also got that could just open up an entire new world for you, couldn't it?
Yeah, well, she said to me, Hannah, when we were sat down with her, because I always like to sit down if I'm photographing someone in a portrait studio environment. I always like to sit down with them first and just have a chat, really. And she said, "Oh yeah, well, because when my first professional job in film industry, funnily enough, was Shane Meadows' The Virtues, which, you know, starred Stephen Graham, directed by Shane Meadows and Neve Algar and all of them. And at the time I was at Office Outlet on Tills, and I'd sort of trained myself to do prosthetic work and blood and guts and all that sort of stuff. And I got a message from Mark Herbert, who's one of the CEOs at Warp Films, just randomly saying, we need someone on set. And all like, okay. So I remember going on set for that. They didn't end up using the blood and guts and stuff like that. So I were just sort of sitting there for 3 days. But it were a great experience. And I was telling her about that because, you know, her husband starred in it.
So you got a common
and it sort of came full circle in a way. And she said, oh, well, you know, we'll have to get you on a production or something. And so hopefully one day in the future I'll, you know, be doing some stills set photography, which I think would be quite fitting because it'd, again, full circle from doing film work and photography and then hopefully putting them both together on a production, which would be quite
would
cool.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, amazing. And it kind of like started in the film industry doing that, and then ended back in there with the same people that you worked with as well. Yeah, it's serendipity, isn't it?
Yeah,
really,
it'd be cool.
But you know, with online traction and attention, unfortunately, sometimes you kind of are dealing with people who leave some pretty negative comments.
Yes.
So, seeing, especially, I mean, one of your portraits of the couple in the wheelchairs, I mean, you kind of spoke out in the comments, didn't you? Saying like people are like, what? First of all, like, when did you start seeing like nasty comments about your subjects?
You always get one or two because people, as soon as they see someone different, they've got that way about them. They just like to spout it, you know. But I think the first time where I really thought, like, oh dear, this is a bit of a problem, was with that one, because, you know, the subjects were in wheelchairs and they dressed differently. You know, they was quirky people, and I love quirky people. But so yeah, some comments on that were fucking awful, and I found myself just sort of deleting them because with my interactions that I do with strangers, is I have a responsibility to almost try and stop them from seeing that, because I want to try and promote them as individuals that should be celebrated. But, you know, of course, you're going to get some twats that want to just piss on people's days.
Piss on your chips and for no reason.
Yeah, and I'd have, you know, I had comments, some vile comments about them. Then also to me, saying I'm suppressing free speech and stuff like that. It's like, you can say what you want, but if you're going to be a twat on my page, I'm just going to delete you and block you. Yeah. If you've got no nice to say, move on.
Yeah, innit? Don't say it.
It's, you know, but then that sort of led on to a project that I'm yet to do, which I'm planning on doing, and it should be starting soon. Because I was I found myself sort of not paying attention to things at home, and because I was so focused on, I hope there's not another comment, because I'm thinking I don't want them to see it, and it upset them.
Yeah, of course. I feel like you're doing them a disservice
through an action that I've done by photographing.
Yeah, this is the creative pitfall, isn't it? Your brain works overtime, and you're like, people aren't going to want to get a photo taken because people are saying this about them online, like, and then you start.
I don't want someone to get upset from a picture that I've taken, but via people being horrible online. So I found myself just looking at my phone constantly, finding a comment and deleting it. Then that made me think, people that live day to day with that in real life, people that are different, people that look different, people that are disabled or whatever, they'll get that constantly on a day-to-day basis. If someone's transgender, they've got a worry of going out of the house every day and people saying this shit to them to the face. So that made me think, like what that must be like. So I've got a portrait series coming up about people with visible differences.
Yeah.
Whether it be scars, burns, people that were just born different. So I really want to pursue that because it pissed me off how people can be so negative against people who've never met.
Yeah, it's wild. Like,
You know.
They just feel like, and then just do it and put the phone down and never think about it again. You know what I mean?
Well, they could have really fucked up someone's day by
For no
reading
reason.
it. Yeah, for no reason, just for the sake of being an arse.
You ever had to take photos down
For
things like that?
No,
No.
I've never taken them down.
Good.
I just sift through the
Yeah.
arseholes and take them off.
I suppose that's like, sifting through and blocking people, and essentially that's how you're protecting the people you photograph, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you've got a duty of care to
You
your
have,
subjects,
yeah. Because it's like, but I found a lot of people that I do photograph that are, transgender, gay, lesbian, homeless, whatever you might be. I found that they're some of the strongest individuals because they've got to put up with shit.
Yeah.
You've got to have a thick skin. I sort of get upset on their behalf because, it's just people nowadays, especially with the internet, they feel like they've got permission to comment shit against other people without consequences. And a lot of them I have screenshotted them and kept them.
Yeah. I love sending it to people.
That. Hopefully I might, I don't know. Name and shame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, eventually.
I'm vindictive like that. It's like you hurt my friends.
Positive vindication.
Yeah, you hurt my friends, I'll fuck you up.
On the flip side of that, what's hearing no like? Like, how often do people say no to you?
It's rare. I found it's weird. It's sort of every time I go to town with the intention of photographing strangers, it usually takes me a good half an hour to actually build up
The confidence.
the courage to actually do it. Even though I've done it, each time you do it, it's you've still got that nerves with it. But you get the first one done, they say yeah. And
Floodgates open, don't
yeah,
they?
and then the majority of people will say yeah. It's I've had a few people say no, but I think it's the fear of asking someone
That's worse than no.
them saying no.
No's almost a relief, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you're like, oh, okay, it's done.
yeah, it's like you realise that you've not died. You're still alive.
We're not saving
They've
lives,
said
are
no.
we?
Yeah, they've said no.
Yeah.
Fine, no one is. You get used to it after a bit, but it's very rare.
Was the rejection harder early on, though?
But
But because it's rare now, like, has it always been rare?
it's kind of always been a bit rare for a no. People are more open to it than you think.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's first time someone did say no, though, we were a little bit like,
What am I doing with my life? So maybe I should go work at Screwfix again.
yeah, I was like, I should just go home.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's ruined my day. But then, it's then the next person you ask will say yeah. The next 5 people
Yeah.
will say yeah. So it,
So in actual fact, you could do some people saying no to save on film.
yeah, probably, yeah. That'd help.
You ever got confrontational or anything like that?
No.
No, never get people coming over to you like, take my photo and this and that.
You get like other day we're taking someone's portrait, an in-your-face portrait, and this guy came up and he went, "They're goths, you know." And I'm like, and you're like, "Yeah, they're goths, be careful." I'm like, just fucking move on.
What are they going to do? Steal your soul and drink your blood?
I was just like, move on.
Move
Come
on. Yeah.
Off,
Don't take any shit then, really.
No. If when your office is the street, you've got to
be street smart.
You've got to be street smart. You've got to know situations, and it's like sometimes you just sort of know when
creep up on you, right? Sometimes,
you know when not to and when to. But very, very rare. The style of photography I do ain't very confrontational.
Yeah, of course. You're very, very, very cordial, aren't you? I've seen your interactions and stuff.
You've got to be, you know, because they're doing me a favour.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw one the other day, you know, the couple, and you only photographed the girlfriend. Was he a bit gutted? Because I saw it thinking, surely he's going to ask them both.
At first,
you didn't.
It kind of just sort of, went on, and it went until after her. I like, I feel a bit bad now, but I don't think he would ask because he knows that she was so colourful and you know,
bright and whatever.
Sometimes it is hard because you're just in a situation, you're just going along with it because they've said
I thought that was I was like, that's crazy. It was cool. It was funny though to watch. He must have just been like,
I know, I should. Yeah. After we were a little bit like, oh shit.
Probably, yeah.
Hope I've not upset him. But he was cool. He said Happy New Year to me.
Yeah, nice.
So like, oh, you too, mate.
So it sounds like most of your interactions like really wholesome and like. So does anyone? What's the most wholesome interaction you've had that you can remember? One that's left you proper like warm and fuzzy, big time.
Probably the one with John Burkhill because I see him all the time.
Yeah,
and he told me a story about his daughter, and and his wife, and the work that he does with Macmillan, and just the work that he does. Like he walked from Cleethorpes to Sheffield for kids for a bus so they could get a new bus.
Wow.
And it was just like, fucking hell, you
that's amazing.
This man is an amazing person. The stuff that he does for other people, without wanting out back in return. And so that one, when I came away from that one, like
a bit choked.
Because it was just like, you know, a man of his age.
He's such a humanitarian, mate, and I think like the work is probably like some people probably share some of the feelings that you have when they look at it. You know what I mean? Because obviously, like 9,000 likes on some of them, and I think they probably look at that and have seen the comments are so positive. Yeah, it's probably a really you and your audience kind of connect. Yeah, and you never meet your audience. So it's the whole. That's the whole point of the project, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like I put out on Instagram and that when I'm going out. So
if you had any like Matt,
I've had a few people come up to me and said, "Oh, you're a guy with camera, aren't you?"
Even a few of the residents here have been like, "Oh, that photographer, yeah, tell him I want my photo taken."
So one of my photography friends said someone mistaked me for you the other day. They said they came up to me, "Oh, you Matt," and then you were like, "No,
absolutely,
I'm a different guy." And it's like, "Oh, sorry." But yeah, I've had people coming up to me sort of asking for the portrait.
That's mint.
Yeah, it's cool. And I like meeting people that actually give a shit about what I do.
Yeah, mate, of course. Cool. I mean, like I say, that's why I've been like in your inbox, like, hello.
Yeah. I'm just shit at replying to people.
Mate, you're a busy man. I totally get it. But like, so you start obviously at the Faces of Sheffield. You know, in your face. You're saying you're working on a new project.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the pipeline you can kind of talk about? Any books, exhibitions, you know?
Hopefully the Faces of Sheffield thing and the In Your Face series are sort of ongoing project. So I think I want to release like a book of each. And it'll probably have to be in a few volumes because it's an ongoing thing. But yeah, I'd like to sort of put a zine or a book together. Maybe an exhibition somewhere. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, and just a new project that I've not come up with a name with yet. I'm still trying to figure out a name, but I just want to get the the body of work done for that one. I should be doing that with Changing Faces UK.
Oh, nice.
Which have you heard of them?
Yeah.
So I might be doing it with them, photography and some of their ambassadors. Yeah, hopefully at the end of that, maybe an exhibition of all the portraits for that one. But yeah, just sort of books and just shows.
Keep chipping away.
Hopefully,
yeah. That's the isn't it? Like photography is one of those things you can do it way into retirement, so who knows? So, but when your subjects like look back at these in 20 years, what do you hope that they feel when they see these pictures?
I don't know really. Just I think that that's for them because they know what they were feeling at the time or what they were going through at the time or what were going on at the time. But I don't know, hopefully sort of look back on it and go, that were
all right.
That were a nice interaction. Because these days having a nice interaction with a stranger is quite a scarce thing.
Yeah, isn't it? It's a very it's a dying art, my friend.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people are interested, aren't they? We just have to take time to look, really.
Yeah. That's what it's about, really. Just looking, use your eyes.
It sounds so simple, man. Like, when you break things down to the minutiae, it can be quite ridiculous, guys, sometimes when you think of it like that. But, mate, thank you.
No worries,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me on.
It was wonderful.
Yes, it was.
Quite,
Enjoy the editing.